Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It is, of course, Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. Welcome back, everybody. We're back as well, joining you for, well, another exciting installment in the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update series. Got another big market update coming your way today. Bitcoin looking pretty fresh, shaking off some intraday selling pressure to come roaring back, currently at 57,000. Are we well on our way to new all-time highs in this month of October? Certainly a bullish pace. Where we head next? That's one of the questions we're going to attempt to answer on today's show. We have at least two of CC's finest analysts with us today. We have Alex here. Alex, I presume you're there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Microphone quality a little lacking, but you're coming through okay. Jason. Jason's with us as well. What's going on, big guy? What's popping this Wednesday?
Not too much. Feeling pretty good about the positions that I'm in. With yesterday's analysis, I think that anyone who was paying attention to it, I think it kind of played out exactly like that. I was telling everyone to look for that support level around that 55,500. We dipped a little bit below it, but we reclaimed it real quick within lower time frames. So I really do think that we might get that continuation up to 60 first. Things on lower time frames are certainly looking bullish, even up to the 12-hour at this point if it closes as is. So it'll be interesting what's happening to get into it today.
Indeed, we're going to get all that into that in just a moment. We are going to get into a bit of news first, of course, guys. We do have about 90 minutes in store for you today. Yeah, we actually went an extra bit yesterday. We went like an hour, 45 minutes. That was a good show yesterday. Got a lot of requests done.
Fun.
It was. Just bear with me another second, guys. As always, a couple small tweaks on my end. Let me lower my microphone volume so I'm more in line with the other analysts. Yep, this is better. I was blowing out the mic earlier. Let's continue, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Got some news we're going to get into today. Of course, a look at the bubbles. We'll shout out the audience. Then we get into the analysis as well as open that DLive chest today. Get to your requests on the latter half of the show as well. So that's what the next 90 minutes has in store for us. Look forward to getting into that. What is this? What just happened? What is this prompt I just got? All right, let's ignore that for now and continue into the news, guys. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I have a few stories here to discuss. This first one comes from Cointelegraph today, and it's titled SEC Chair Gary Gensler actually is pro-Bitcoin, argues Volt Equity CEO. Let's see here. Volt recently received approval for an ETF that includes stocks in various crypto-related companies, so naturally the CEO is probably well, a bit grateful to the SEC. So let's see on the founder of Volt Equity's take on this. Believes that the U.S. regulators have a fair reason to be slow in approving a pure Bitcoin-related exchange ETF, an exchange-traded fund. Volt Equity CEO and founder Tad Park voiced support for the U.S. SEC regarding the regulators' unwillingness to approve an ETF that would track Bitcoin directly. In a Tuesday Fox Business interview, Park argued that the SEC's chair, Gary Gensler, is actually pro-Bitcoin, and is also a little bit misunderstood regarding his perspective on the crypto regulation. Park specifically referred to the SEC's investors' protection concerns, namely that crypto custody providers have yet to assure the commission that they can actually ensure proper asset protection. Quote, I can say I have a gold ETF or a Bitcoin ETF, but I'm storing that gold in my basement. Is the SEC going to allow that? Probably not. Unless companies can show that they custody it and actually address a lot of the issues Gensler specifically mentioned, it's not going to work. I see. So his objection is about consumer protection, and indeed, maybe some of these operations that are vying for SEC approval, maybe they don't meet the sufficient, security or what would the word here be? Because if your custody, the architectural setup of your whole custody solution might need a little look. But I presume, you think a lot of the leading people in the space would have figured that out by now. So, BACT being probably among them. But let's continue. CEO added that at least.
Just release the regulations, and we'll all follow the fucking regulations. We won't have to keep having this conversation every day.
Yep.
Such a will they, won't they with Gary Gensler.
No kidding. Exactly. They very well could spell out the exact regulations or the exact standards they want crypto custodians to kind of abide by, and clear the landscape a bit. But let's see here. The CEO added that at least half of current crypto ETF applications with the SEC are not even valid because they are not addressing what Gary Gensler is saying. Park emphasized that Volt Equity's crypto ETF does not provide direct exposure to Bitcoin, but instead tracks major Bitcoin-related companies, including MicroStrategy, Tesla, Twitter, Square, and others. We try to get at what people are actually looking for, which is correlation to Bitcoin's price movement, said Park. These companies are really focusing on Bitcoin and get the majority of their income and revenue from Bitcoin. It makes sense that they tend to move along Bitcoin's price. Well, that's a very generous way of putting it. Not in all cases, I think, not in the case of Tesla and some of these others, but indeed. One ETF, so I guess
What if Tesla's only profitable quarter come from holding Bitcoin?
yeah, you do make a good point there. That's perfectly valid. But there you have it. Park apparently, kind of siding on the side of the SEC here. I guess he's of course one of the beneficiaries of the SEC's positive approvals, I guess, in the space. So I can understand why he leans toward this side. But I guess Park merely voicing why he thinks the SEC does have the consumer in mind when they dilly-dally on these matters. But with that said, go ahead and get into another article here. This one comes from the Bitcoin magazine. The largest Canadian Bitcoin ETF opens to mutual fund investors. Yes, so on the Canadian front, we obviously have a bit more positive developments in terms of bringing the people in the ETF. In this case, Purpose Investments, an institutional firm with more than $12 billion in our management, on Wednesday announced that the launch of a mutual fund units for the world's first ETF backed and settled by Bitcoin. Quote, we're happy to provide another easy and secure way for Canadian investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin. The CEO and founder of the mutual fund said this allows investors to exposure to Bitcoin and has risen in demand by investors worldwide this year. The purpose for the Bitcoin ETF, I should say not the purpose, that's the name of it. The Purpose Bitcoin ETF invests directly in Bitcoin, allowing investors efficient exposure to Bitcoin without the associated risk and burden of self-custody. The Purpose Bitcoin ETF aims to accurately reflect the price of Bitcoin, meaning its units may be purchased and redeemed at net asset value per unit, blah, 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 blah. The Purpose... maybe
Safety to people.
A little bit leg back, but not quite, which might otherwise be associated with listed Bitcoin securities like Grayscale. The Purpose Bitcoin Fund currently has $1.2 billion under management, consisting of about 21,000 Bitcoin. All three of these offerings are backed by at least 0.001 Bitcoin per share, with a current net asset value between $10 and $12. Currently in 5,000 and 7,000 available shares for these funds. The SEC. All right, well, there you go. These Canadians have exposure to a Bitcoin fund. Interesting. Maybe the
it gives investors protections they wouldn't have. They don't have self-custody risk.
Precisely, which is extremely important. That's definitely one major consumer protection here. I think that they
dealing with exchanges.
Maybe the SEC needs to take a look at what the Purpose Investments ETF in Canada did to assuage Canadian regulators' concerns when it comes to stuff like custody. But there you go. At least one positive development on the ETF front. Sadly, not within the American jurisdiction. Yes, go Canada indeed. Let's see here. What's to do with this one? Chinese exchanges split over kneeling to the People's Bank of China. CZ, the master of jurisdictional class, has shown himself to be far too meek when it comes to his own home country. A seemingly coordinated regulatory affront during the summer has had some pondering and wondering whether Zhao had checkmate. And this article is interestingly written. London was told Binance had nothing to do what they thought was... Okay, I'm not even going to read this because this writing is atrocious of this particular article. I think I get the gist of it, of course. China. Yes, we've been following, obviously, the developments of China. The China crypto bans for real this time. You guys may have seen the alert. Probably not, because we don't usually trade in the Chinese CNY, Chinese yuan pairs. But indeed, Binance announcing the delisting of Chinese pairs across their platform to comply with Chinese regulators. There you go. Let's get to this next piece. Bitcoin magazine titled Miami Mayor says plan advancing to pay city employees in Bitcoin. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez told Bloomberg that paying government employees in Bitcoin is now a major priority for city officials. I want us to differentiate ourselves as a crypto capital of the U.S. or of the world, he said in an interview. Similar proposal was first published in February, but has since stalled. Yeah, we covered, I guess, that proposal debut in February, but now Miami's top priority at the moment is enabling Bitcoin as a payment option for government employees' salaries and citizens' tax and fees. Said Suarez in an interview with Bloomberg. The city will issue a formal request for a proposal this month, according to Suarez, to help actualize the mayor's plan. Miami will need to create the payment rails to allow city residents to pay fees and taxes in Bitcoin. I want us to be different. We need to differentiate ourselves as a crypto capital of the U.S. or even of the world, as I mentioned earlier. Well, there you go. That's pretty solid development. Chalk went up for a progressive vision for Bitcoin adoption. Miami Mayor way ahead of the curve on this one, I'd argue.
One count at a time.
Indeed. Smart move, smart move. Let's continue. We got another piece here from Crypto Briefing titled A16Z to lobby policymakers on crypto and Web3 regulation. Interesting. The venture capital firm run by Andreessen Horowitz is planning to meet with Washington leaders and policymakers this week. The firm wants to help U.S. leaders create a comprehensive national strategy for crypto as well as Web3 technologies. The firm's head of policy said that crypto will be hugely consequential in determining the long-term success of countries in the 21st century and that the U.S. is currently losing in this race. Venture capital firm and major crypto investor Andreessen Horowitz's A16Z will meet with policymakers in Washington later today. I'm repeating much of what I just described. Yeah, I'm glad to see, and I've mentioned this before on the show, I'm glad to see some deep-pocketed stakeholders in the space are indeed throwing down, putting their money where their mouth is, and, you know, hiring the necessary lawyers and lobbyists to, I don't know, schmooze, rub shoulders, you know, make the necessary financial arrangements to get the policymakers on our side. Well, thank you. I'm glad somebody's fronting the money to do it. A much necessary move. This is, I guess, how policy gets drafted on Capitol Hill. Gotta do your lobbying. Mm-hmm.
On Capitol Hill.
That's a classic.
Right.
Indeed. Let's continue, guys. I'm going to keep things breezy today, not going to weigh you down with the lobbying details. Let's continue. BlackRock CEO sees huge opportunities in digital currency. This one comes from Blockworks, and it reads as such. The CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, said that while he sees huge opportunities for digital currency, he's unsure how the crypto space will fare over the long term. Quote, I'm not a student of Bitcoin and where it's going to go, so I can't tell you whether it's going to go to 80,000 or zero, but I do believe there's a huge role for digitized currency, and I believe that's going to help consumers worldwide, said Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, in an interview with CNBC earlier today. Whether it's Bitcoin or something else, or more of a governmental official digital dollar, that will play out. Though Fink said he is fascinated by interest in the space and that his firm is studying the blockchain and crypto sectors, he noted that during the interview that he's probably more of a Jamie Dimon when it comes to Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon, famously dunking on Bitcoin and calling it worthless garbage every opportunity he gets. That Jamie Dimon.
Cigarette.
His customers. Get out of here.
Let's see here. Although Fink, yeah, I mentioned this part. Dylan, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, of course, called Bitcoin worthless on Monday during a virtual event. Diamond noted that his company can't custody it. It can give possible access to clients through clean avenues. Yes, you certainly can, buddy. All right. Well, there is at least one CEO who, well, I guess he's kind of neutral on the take. Yes, the safe, I guess, the safe bet, so you don't end up looking like a fool in a few years, is to say, yeah, I don't know about that Bitcoin, but the tech, yes, the tech is here to stay. Well, let me tell you, Mr. Larry Fink, I think Bitcoin is equally here to stay. But there you go, another billionaire sounding off on the topic. go ahead and get into another piece here from Decrypt titled NFTs will be key to accessing the metaverse and beyond. Yeah, this is an argument I'm making lately myself. Let's see here. The metaverse is still emerging, but it's becoming clear that NFTs will be the key to unlocking many parts of it. Let's see here. NFT Center Gaming Hub creates 2.0 game development, blah, blah, blah. All right, this is starting to read more like a marketing release, but I have to agree. I do agree with largely with the sentiment of this. The NFTs and the metaverse are inextricably linked now. And you can see that in the development and the roadmaps of many NFT projects now. They're kind of building the utility around metaverse applications, airdrops related to metaverse. So these are two technologies kind of on the come up.
My fingers into it myself right now.
I know,
Pretty
it's crazy.
stuff.
And more and more of our audiences too. I had somebody hit me up yesterday. Who was it again? They mentioned during the course of the show that they recently picked up an NFT. Please do remind me. Don't make me go to my DMs and remind myself. But yes.
Just people listening in the audience. Just if anyone's out there into any NFTs right now, just post the name of it.
Yep, holler. Let us know in the live chat what you're getting into. But let's see here. All right, talk about NFT virtual property and more, but indeed, NFTs and the metaverse totally linked, and it is a bright future ahead. Let me have a look here, guys. I'm just going to keep breezing on through. We're about 20 minutes into the show, so I have to wrap up the news in the next article or two. This one's from Blockworks, and it's titled Average BlockFi Credit Card Holder on Track to Spend $30,000 per Year. Very, very impressive stuff. Now, me personally, I also have a crypto, crypto credit card. I guess a crypto rewards card, I should probably call it. Mine's from crypto.com, and I think what this article is going to mention is what I've also discovered. By getting your crypto rewards coming in on the steady, might actually encourage you to spend more than you likely would have otherwise. Let's have a look here. Just 3 months ago, BlockFi, a popular place to buy, sell, and earn various crypto, launched a Visa-backed credit card. The insights from the first 90 days of the rollout are absolutely eye-popping. According to the company's press release, the average BlockFi cardholder is on track to spend $30,000 US per year. Based on publicly available operational performance data from Visa, MasterCard, and Amex, the average annual cards you spend per user is only $5,000. All right, so the average user of traditional credit cards comes in about $5,000 a year in spending. Average BlockFi user 6x of that, $30,000 a year in spending through there. The top 3 merchants where cardholders are spending include Amazon, Home Depot, and Costco. Yo, seriously, makes perfect sense. BlockFi initial analysis shows that the user's habits include things ranging from everyday grocery shopping and utility payments to large purchases related to major life events, such as one consumer who spent over $20,000 at Tiffany's. Nice.
Yikes.
I can see how the average couple of Tiffany's spending sprees, I can see how it pushes up average spending of their customers to something like $30K.
Get married twice a year. You're screwed.
Based on current spending and projections, BlockFi cardholders are pacing at over $2 billion USD at annualized spending. To compare, in 2020, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover and Amex generated about $6.4 trillion in purchase volume. Based on their issued cards, thus rendering a huge market opportunity for crypto-native cards. Indeed, one way to look at this is how much market share of all the spending volume these cards can potentially absorb. And on it goes. And so I'm not going to bore you with all the stats going on, but I think one piece here, let's read right this last paragraph or so. It appears that many cardholders may prefer the debit card rewards over credit card rewards, according to at least Ben Price of the Bitcoin company. Quote, they are seeing users move their spending off of credit traditional rewards cards to debit Bitcoin cards, which is not a normal customer behavior, he told Blockworks. Typically, credit cards are the best for rewards, not debit or prepaid cards. Indeed. Kind of a weird consumer shift, right? You never would have expected necessarily. I too never would have actually because in many ways a prepaid card, kind of like these Visa cards that we're talking about here, like my Crypto.com card, a prepaid card isn't particularly convenient. You know, some people like to rack up credit card debt and keep the balance going and pay it off every month. Prepaid isn't obviously useful or super convenient for many consumers for that reason, yet nonetheless, still in this case, attracting people to use them. Nonetheless, maybe it's because we're all flush with gains. We don't need to use credit like a sucker and keep the balance going. Us Bitcoiners are ballers after all, right? Alas, that's how I would conclude this piece here. Still remarkable to think, and I hope this raises some eyebrows in traditional finance and in other financial sectors, because it's like, yo, clearly these crypto guys, they got money to spend. They're bringing volumes through these cards. You know, this. I hope your local banking provider, your local card issuer, is paying attention here. Customers want these types of rewards. They want these types of cards. This is seriously an indication of it, seeing this kind of volume come through it. All right, are we at 130 yet? Kind of. Let me at least mention another headline or two. I won't dive into any of this too deeply. Bank of England leader calls crypto regulation a matter of urgency for financial stability. Oh, is it now? Is it now? Yeah, we need crypto regulation, right? We don't need to actually address the systemic unraveling that we're seeing in the economy right now. No. We need financial stability. We need crypto. Let's see here. Tightening ties between traditional finance and crypto markets mean that regulators around the world can't stop talking crypto. Deputy Governor of Financial Stability over the Bank of England spoke on a risk crypto pose to the financial system, particularly stable coins, decentralized finance, and derivative trading on unbacked digital assets, reportedly noting that crypto markets remain quite small, highlighting the risks pose huge degrees of interconnectedness between crypto and conventional finance, and therefore systemic risk, blah, 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 blah. All right, well, I'll leave the link in the description below if anybody wants to take a look, a further deeper dive into the BOE's executive for risk and his comments. I will leave the link below. Coinbase announcing NFT waitlist following leads of Binance and FTX. Yeah, Alex dropped this link today, and indeed, something we covered on the show yesterday, Coinbase breaking into the NFT space. So much activity popping off in NFTs, not surprised there. And US is now topping the mining charts after China ban. Indeed, today we've also been covering all that FUD. I remember all that FUD I used to hear. No, that's pretty much obsolete. Can't tell me about Chinese centralized mining anymore. With this latest development, it's crazy how far we've come in such a short period of time. All right, enough of this light jaunt through the news. We're going to get into the next segment, and that's a look at the bubbles. What's going on in the alt space today? Pretty green day. Bitcoin hanging on, kind of what we touched on the show yesterday. Bitcoin hanging on here, giving alts some room to run a little bit today, and running they are. We got some double-digit gains here in the alt space by the likes of Perp. Yes, the perpetual protocol up nearly 20% today. Telcoin similar, up about 18% for Telcoin. We got a couple. Let's see here. Who else is double-digit? We got Polkadot up nearly 12%. Yeah, not bad. Curve up 11%, and a smattering of single-digit gainers today. We got Waves, Rev, Blockstacks, Stellar Lumens, Vet, Curve, Chili's, BNB, BSV, and a number of other coins all up single digits today, 5 to 10% gains across many of these. Yeah, here's Kusama as well. Kusama's up about 3%. Looking good in the alt space today. Let's see here. One loser pulling back today. One major loser down about 11% today. Leading the sell-off is Hex. Hex is down about 11%. But heck, it's had an extraordinary run. There's a quick look at bubbles, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the live chat. Who is kicking it with us this Wednesday afternoon? CC audience here in full force as always. Let me just expand out the chat window and let's get into it. Ron Legato first in the chat today. Big shout outs to Ron. Robert Warner, the big Mr. Ether, he's kicking it with us as well on YouTube. Franklin MC, greetings from the Pacific Northwest. Well, big shout outs to Franklin MC. somewhere on the West Coast. David Rice, what's up, y'all? Gotta love hump day. Just give us a little pump. Indeed, it is the Wednesday hump day, and let's keep the markets buzzing. Bitcoin marching up. GT Mark IV, what up, what up? Well, big what up to Mr. Mark IV. P&W be holding. All right, we'll maybe check in on P&W. Peckham 08, evening, everyone. Big good evening to Peckham 08. Robert Warner, NFTR is going to lose a lot of people money. Yes, hopefully none of us among them, but indeed, this NFT space seems to be seriously overheating. But nonetheless, at the same time, I think there's still I don't think we've seen anything yet. This is just the beginning. Yes, there's probably going to need to be a big correction, a big shakeout. A lot of crap probably needs to go away. But at the moment, I think NFTs are still have a lot of growth ahead of them. Dave Rice, could you look at fun real fast? Tell me if it's shit. All right, well, hang tight. I'll add fun to the request line. Hang tight. ETH1, hi guys. Hi, hello to Mr. ETH1. Finally back. Alex, welcome. Well, ETH1, glad to have Alex back. Any word?
Today, guys.
XEQ Equilibria was the crypto dollar vigilante coin pick. Well, there you have it. XEQ getting shilled by dollar vigilante. Maybe we will take a dive into that token at some point. All right. Philly Carr with us today on YouTube as well. Big shout outs to you. Any word, fear, greed index, 70 out of 100. All right. Thank you for the daily update on the fear, greed. ETH1 SFP request. Much thanks. Yes, we will add that as well. Good report on the crypto Visa cards. Thank you, Mr. Philly. Robert Warner just thought about how many rewards you could accumulate buying customers' materials at Home Depot. Well, maybe you could, Mr. Ether. You are indeed the contractor of choice for many in the Ohio area or wherever you hail from. But indeed, when I thought about the top spending locations, they mentioned Home Depot and Costco, it made perfect sense. And indeed, it could be some serious rewards to accumulate. What do they pay? 1%, 3%, whatever it is, even 1% of Bitcoin, along with its growth. And yeah, if you run through a bunch of contracting jobs through Home Depot on the card, not bad, right? Philly Carr, do they sell coils of steel at Home Depot? No, I don't think so. That's more of an industrial supply. Let's see here. What's CTC coin next to Waves coin in Bubbles? CTC coin? Yeah, that's a good question. CTC coin is something that I think was recently listed on there. What is CTC exactly? CTC coin was next to, what did he say it was? Let's see here, CTC. Well, maybe I will Google it because I can't seem to find it on here. CTC coin, Philly, this one's for you, buddy. CTC coin, Credit Coin, that's the one. It's Credit Coin, top trading pair, my boy. It's not Bittrex and OKX. There you have it, Philly. Crypto Cats. Hey, what's up, everyone? Big shout out to Crypto Cats on DLive. We are looking good. Hell yeah, we're looking good. Any word? Weird how XEQ is 57 cents on Trade Ogre versus 74 on Hotbit. All right, bit of an arbitrage opportunity, apparently. Peckham 08 is the Manchurian crypto guy here. Holla. Manchurian crypto guy. Or not Manchurian, Mancunian crypto guy. I believe that's Philly. He's up in here. Peckham 08, so you want to sign up and get that free NFT from me now, Jack? Ha ha ha. 3-1 Peckham, go check WaxP. Got you, Peckham 08. Indeed, I probably should have taken you up on that offer even earlier. Robert Warner, sup Philly? Big shout outs to Philly indeed. I'm good. I've been to see my daughter at Leeds University today. She's doing great. Well, I'm very happy to hear that, Philly. Congratulations on your daughter and her success in her education career, I should say. Mossy999, hey guys, can we take a look at .BNB and Cardano? Yeah, we sure can. I'm going to add those three to the request line right now because we're about to get into the next segment. That is your comments for now, at least. Again, to the request line, Alex, man, your connection's a little funky. Jason, do you want to take over? Or do you want to give Alex at least one shot at this?
Yeah, I can always take over if it doesn't work.
All right, Alex, we'll try it. Go 720p and 15 frames. Hopefully that will suffice.
Here goes.
All right, guys, we are gonna go live. Hopefully, Alex's connection.
Big bucks, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Here we go. Oh, we gotta fix a couple on-screen elements as well. All right, he just went live. Brilliant. Connecting to his stream. Here's the moment of truth. Your chart's still loading, I guess. Sad to say, I don't think this is gonna happen. Sadly, Alex does not have the bandwidth to
Just
support.
popped up.
Yeah, but I mean, look how slow it's going. It's barely.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Don't worry, Alex. You fall back. You do. You kick it on voice for now. You have enough bandwidth to support voice, so we'll let you kick it there. Bear with me, guys. One moment. I have to do a couple more on-screen things, but in the meantime, Jason.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just went live.
Sweet. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, bearing with us right now. Alex, you may want to turn off your stream to preserve bandwidth.
I have done so.
All right, thank you, sir. Jason, we got you on stream. You are looking at BTC USD 24-hour chart on Bybit, so I think we're all synced up and looking good. As for me, I'm gonna hop into the live chat, start extracting your requests, guys. Get them in now. Jason, walk us through your daily scan.
Well, coming back to the chart, the Bitcoin chart yesterday that we were looking at, this was the pattern that I had, that I believed what we'd likely see. If we're looking at lower time frames that we were looking at yesterday on the BitMEX chart, on the 4-hour, I was telling everyone to really be paying attention to this level here of that 55.5 range. I said that we'd likely toss around there a little bit, so don't get overexcited on lower time frames to go ahead and short it. And I think that that was the right idea, looking at what we just experienced and what I was pointing out yesterday on an ascending triangle breakout, completing its movement, coming back down to test the old horizontal line of the previous ascending triangle, and then getting that continuation to the upside. And it does appear on lower time frames, at least, that that's what we are getting. This is a really solid 4-hour signal that we're going to get in about 2 hours and 20 minutes that I think I might be taking, because I haven't been able to get any on the daily with the way volatility has been. So if we are going to get another push to the upside, say that 60K that we had been talking about earlier, I'd like to be able to catch that. So looking at lower time frames, I am bullish on Bitcoin here on the 4-hour. The 12-hour does kind of resemble a 3-bar reversal if it closes above that 55.96 range. So I do think that it's likely that we could get some more momentum to the upside. Getting to Bitcoin dominance here, we are seeing a little bit of a push to the upside, not surprising considering what's happening currently with Bitcoin. We wicked up here, but now we're appear to be using this 45 range as support. So we'll see if that continues or not. But I think it's interesting to see the... Oh, well, getting over to the DJII, I'm sorry. The DJII does appear to be selling off a little bit from its beautiful continuation signal. So we'll just have to see if this ends up getting completely faded to the downside, or if we end up catching some support here.
I was looking at this earlier, and this, if you draw out the broadening wedge, this is like another tap of the resistance of it and rejection from.
Yep, it is a little tap right there. So yeah, and I remember talking about that earlier on ascending broadening wedge on that retracement. Once you get that tap to the upside, whether we get support here and then you actually get that break above, but if we don't, then we're likely to see this give back a lot of this movement. So I'll be interested to see what happens with the DJII here. Moving into Ethereum. Ethereum just kind of marching sideways the same way, not breaking its resistance quite yet, but it is it's still sitting under it for now. There's nothing you can do here. until you get some kind of crossover or continuation signal. So just nothing that we can do, but I would think that we'd at least come back down to test this 3166 range. But like I was saying earlier in the week, it wouldn't shock me either if we got another extension of continuation up to here before we got a breakdown. So it's just nothing to quite do there yet. All of the alt contracts seem to be resembling each other here. Except Dragon Perp. I did not see this today. Wow. Dragon Perp going for it. So basically, yes, this is the type of pattern that I'm talking about on what I was thinking about for Ethereum and a lot of these other alts that I was talking about last Thursday. That instead of getting that breakdown to test these older support levels, we instead get that extension all the way to get the full tap of resistance, which is appearing to happen here for Dragon Perp. And I do expect that to happen across the board for a lot of alts. And we are seeing a little bit of breadth in alts currently, but go ahead.
You giving up the ghost on our bearishness?
I can't hear you.
I said, have you given up the ghost on our bearishness?
No, I'm not, but I do think that on lower time frames, it does appear that we're going to get some kind of leg up here. I mean, this could be the final swing, but I need to see new highs, break above, and then tests before I really get into the full swing of the bull trend, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just, you get too excited too quick, and that's just the way that it always happens, like psychology-wise. I think that another stab to the upside will get that fear and greed index up even more. A tap of 60, then a reversal, I could totally see that being the case. I think psychologically 60 is a really good level. But going over to Exchange Perp, kind of winding up the same way that I would expect. No signal. Surprised if we get a little bit out of this today, this could turn into a full signal on my system. Nothing quite to do here yet, but it does appear to be building a little bit of strength, breaking this trend to the downside. Nice 3 white soldiers pattern on the daily. So we'll see with that, but it's beginning to shape up. Mid perp not looking so hot. This actually did give a full short signal yesterday, but I'm not sure with like what I was saying yesterday of a lot of these are hanging out right on their 200 EMAs, so I would like to see what they do there first. It does appear that buyers keep stepping in when we wick down here, but this does look weaker than it does strong, so mid perp seems to be a little bit weaker than what we're seeing out of everything else. This looks identical, to be honest with you, with mid perp, ship perp, and then look very similar. Big day on gold. Finally, I was talking about this pattern on whether this is going to turn into a little inverse head and shoulders, and it does appear that we got that movement to the upside. This would complete that movement. Big day on gold for gold bugs there. I would assume that silver's doing a little bit. Yep. Pretty much mimicking the same pattern.
Back over resistance. Palladium, we did come up off of those lows like we were looking at. And as far as gold here, I like this move upwards. I think I'm willing to long gold again above 1800. I just want to see just a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, that coincides really nicely with the 200 EMA here on the daily. And I do think that would be a good show of strength on resistance coming support. So I agree with that.
Yeah, if we crest 1800 here and close down the side, I think I'd be willing to take it to retest highs.
Yeah, I could even see it coming up to test that 2000 range up here.
Yeah.
And that'd be a big movement for gold, man. But yeah, beginning to shape up. Would be a continuation signal today, but just quite a bit of volatility. You just got to wait to see what kind of support you end up getting. That's why Alex is suggesting looking at that 1800 level as a significant level of holding support, because if we get above there, we're likely to run through this order block quite quickly, in my opinion. I'm looking at the Dow Jones, still looking negative, not looking good at all. Crossovers everywhere. Getting a full short signal, but no WADA confirmation on the Dow Jones. QQQ. giving a full continuation short yesterday, getting a little bit of a buyback, but mostly sideways, still under most significant resistances so far. Buy, same, looking pretty similar to the QQQ. But if we do start to see a sell-off here within this broadening ascending wedge on the DJII, I think that we'll likely to see a little bit more upside pressure with the regular stock market. But I think that where the DJII holds will really tell us where the traditionals are going, in my opinion.
Yeah, for the Dow, I'm really focused on that newly established downtrend, because we make that lower high on the Dow, and if you connect those and extend it, you know, so far we're still below that downtrend. And I think as long as we stay below it, then there's no sense in being bullish at all on the Dow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most of those, like even like none of these look interesting at all to me. They would have to have pretty significant break up, because looking at a lot of these patterns, it would really surprise me if we just blew through and made new highs here. Like that doesn't seem like a normal structure or a chart pattern to me, but it absolutely could happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm with him. We haven't broken any trends on any of these. Like, as long as it's still a downtrend, let it be a downtrend, because I think that we have a lot lower to dip on these things. And looking at the DJII on the monthly or the weekly, we look super strong still. But I mean, with what's coming, we could get a crossover here, so we'll just have to see. But other than that, we can probably get into a request there, Jack.
All right, let's do it. Give me just a minute to put them on screen. And we'll get right into today's requests. What do we have today? Well, we're doing pretty good on time, I suppose. Let's see here. Am I all caught up on the requests? Mostly, yes. There's a comment here from Ethan. I don't know why. I got a feeling that soon will be a really big crash on Bitcoin, but it's just my opinion. I got that bad feeling too. It's the October surprise. I wonder if, and the conditions for maybe that drop are being met right now. We're marching up for potentially a failure, as Jason. We know what?
You guys know I'm bearish.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed. I'm of course a perma bull, so I lean, one way more than the other. But indeed, I can understand the rationale behind our analysts' analysis. With that said, enough talk. I'm going to get into that request right now. Bear with me just a moment. I know I said I'd already do this, but I had to do something else in the background. First request of the day comes from Dave Rice on YouTube. Could you guys take a look at FUN real fast? Tell me if it's crap. Yes. What does FUN look like?
As for my system, there's just nothing that you can do. Today would be giving you a short signal. On FUN, not enough water confirmation there to do anything with it, but all of your oscillators are crossing over here. I mean, this does look like one of those. If you got some price action to the upside and closed above with a nice 3-bar reversal here, you'll likely get a signal by the end of the week if that happens. But as for now, I don't think that there's anything to do with this. You got to let it prove itself. Otherwise, you could still have quite a bit of downside left on FUN. I mean, all of these levels haven't been tested, and taking that without a signal would be quite detrimental if you had to write it down. I mean, if all the way down here would be 69%, but I could absolutely see it dropping another 20% and then maintaining that structure to come up and test higher highs again. But as for now, there's just nothing you can do with this. This looks weaker than anything, so nothing you can do. All
right, Dave Rice, that's your look at FUN. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. We have the following for any word mentioning, yes, the Dollar Vigilante, Jeff Berwick's pick. I'm not sure if this is something we could explore. XEQ, Equilibria.
Is that crypto?
Yeah, it's crypto. You might definitely not going to be able to find it that easily, so it tells me. But let me just see if I can figure out what XEQ. Equilibria is not much detail here. it looks like it's its own token, and it trades on Trade Ogre and Hotbit at best. You might be able to use CoinTrader.pro for this. Let me see how much data will we have. It's a fairly new coin. Let me see here. Go to all. No, it's been around since October 2020, and it looks like it's mooned ever since. So really, in the last couple of days at least, since Berwick announced it, so there really isn't a whole lot to probably visit on this one. The SHIB has sailed. XEQ, if you search on there, if you want to. I don't even know if it might be worth it. I'm just curious if it'll be, well, CoinTrader.pro I think uses the pulls up CoinMarketCap data, right, to chart.
I don't have
Yeah.
a login for this actually.
Let me just check.
In
that case, we'll skip this for now. Fully diluted market caps apparently only 11 million. Is this correct? Seems hard to believe. I would have figured this would have mooned by now, especially looking at this chart pattern. This pump I'm seeing on CoinMarketCap. With that said, guys, anyway, we will revisit EQ at another opportunity. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get into this request for ETH1. He wants to look at SFP. Safe pal.
Okay, well, have a fun time with that, bud. If you're in it, congratulations.
Wow, big move.
I mean, something had an alt season. But let's see, what is this in a day? I mean, you've already moved 155% in a day, man. I mean...
While we're on the topic of big moves, I'm thinking that Binance Smart Chain shitcoins could be the next big play. Now that Binance announced that they're going to do that $1 billion ecosystem grant thing that they're doing. I mean, when Phantom did their liquidity mining incentives and all the other ones did their liquidity mining incentives, their shitcoins all rocketed off, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I'm looking for Binance shitcoins to maybe recover pretty well in the near future. Maybe something like Bunny, Alpaca, etc., etc. I would look around. Maybe even Cake.
Cake. Take a peek at Cake real quick. Just Cake.
I really like Bunny here too. Look at Bunny, definitely.
Well, Cake has given me a full signal today.
You like that, huh?
That is a good signal, and nice little basing period here. You haven't come up here completely to test this. I think this is great for a TP1 at least. But yeah, you could get continuation out of that as well, the same way that you're seeing with SFP. So yeah, great call. What's Bunny?
Yeah, you got to pull that one up on ChartX, bud.
My ChartX has not been working lately. Oh, nice. It's actually working. It wouldn't let me search anything. Ooh, Bunny. Is this the right Bunny? Rocket Bunny?
I don't think so. It should be just.
So. Let me look it up for you.
It should be like Bunny Finance, or Pancake Bunny, or Pan Bunny. No, Pancake Bunny. Maybe it's Pancake Bunny.
It is Pancake Bunny, but it's Bunny Finance. So
they have $700 million total value locked. Their market cap is 50 million. You see how far it's fallen, right?
Well, I can't find it.
The chart?
It's a BSC token, and let me see if I can.
Try CoinTrader.pro. Let's see if that works for you.
Jason doesn't have a login for CoinTrader.
I don't.
You don't need a login for CoinTrader.pro. It's ChartX you need a login for, so.
Okay, well...
CoinTrader.pro. Let's go give this a shake. Let me see if I can find Bunny Finance on here.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the one cracking the whip now, guys. Get to work. Look at the chart. Yeah, that's right. You chart monkey.
How do you even search on fucking CoinTrader? I don't use it.
Click Markets, I think, at the top.
Yeah, I did.
And now we search...
Where's the search?
Yeah, where is the search?
So I'm like, what the?
I think it's because you do have to log in to unlock the search tool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
God damn it, Jason. Or Alex.
I'll get on it later.
All right, listen, we'll check out the Binary Finance in the meantime, later. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get into. In fact, we're getting so far ahead of the schedule here that we should probably have more than enough time to round out later and get to something we missed. But in the meantime, let's go look at Mossy's.
Real good here.
Yeah, Mossy's
Just
request.
Because Alex brought this up. Cake looks real good here, guys.
Yeah, it does actually. Can you zoom in on your WADA a little bit?
Oh, she's there.
She's there? Alright, so you say. Let's go ahead. Yeah, she's there. Alright, let's go ahead and get to Mossy's request. Mossy over on Twitch writes, hey guys, can we take a look at DOT, BNB, and Cardano? Yes, certainly can. We got time to do a 3-pack. Let's get into it. DOT.
DOT, like I was saying yesterday, like if you were in it, there was no real reason to exit it. Let it, if it's going to come up and test, it's going to come up and test, and it does appear that it did get that follow through. So nothing you can quite do here, in my opinion. With Alex's system, possibly you'd be getting a full continuation on time transformation, but it's a little too far extended for a position that I'd like to take. But let's look at the weekly. It is coming right up onto that resistance though. And these are a bunch of levels that I'm a little nervous about, in the sense of if we do get a rejection, it would be in these regions. So I don't want to get too bullish before we completely clear a pattern like this, because it could easily go the other way. So I would be taking profit. You're coming right up onto resistance here on DOT. But like if you're in it, there's no reason to exit right now completely, but I would be taking profit for sure at this resistance level, moving my stop loss to break even and seeing what happens. But it looks strong. A close like this could give you a little bit further up push here. You'll just have to wait and see how you close.
All right. Well, that sounds like you got DOT in the bag. We also got BNB.
BNB was a signal that I took last night. Posted to the group, liked everything about it. WADA's there, giving me a rising explosion level, time transformation crossing up, as well as WADA. Mink's giving me a signal. Currently, we barely just didn't tap the first take profit. First take profit sitting up there at about 270, I believe. We wicked up to, or 470, sorry. We wicked up to 467.9. That's just part of the game. Still everything looking good here. I think that this could be a good, hopefully a good one. We are coming up on a little bit of resistance here, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. The signal's good, and there's no reason to exit at this point. I think BNB looks strong. I'm in it.
All right, ADA.
ADA's kind of breaking my heart. Sorry. With the price absorption that we were kind of getting here, we're losing volume on the way down and momentum. I decided to leave this long open that I've had. My stop loss is down here a bit. I'm about halfway there at the moment. In drawdown at the moment. But with the price action that we're getting out of alts in these higher lows that we're getting, I'm willing to still give this a shot to see if we can get some kind of continuation up to the upside. But it doesn't look the strongest here. This is another one that WADA just wasn't there, so I couldn't take the short. That's why I decided to stay in the... if it would have given that full short signal, I would have just gotten out of the position. But since it didn't give me that, I'm like, okay, instead of just closing it here and trying to open up a short that didn't give me a full signal, I'd rather just hang on to this position and see if I can get some kind of a price action to either alleviate some losses or get the follow through that I'm looking for. So ADA, I'm still sitting in it. Nothing to do as of right now, but nice little price action today, relieving above that lower high. So still nothing broke down here, but it doesn't look crazy strong. So I am in it, but like I said, it's not a position that like I'm super stoked about, but I'm willing to let this ride for the moment on the pattern that's building.
All right, big shout outs to Mossy999. Thank you so much for that request. How are we doing on time? 2 o'clock. Yeah, the clock just struck the top of the hour. We're going to get into the next request. Mr. Ether, Robert Warner, Ren USD.
Ren, this is one of the ones that I was talking about last week that I think with the price acceleration that Ren got, that it would likely be one of the ones that would end up being a loser while everything else was making some gains back. It had a great run here. I think that the ascending broadening wedge and then the breakdown from the top pivot here, that we called that back here at let's see here, October 21st. No, that's right. October 5th, sorry. So about a week ago, we called that about there, that I think that this would likely run out of steam with the pattern that it's built. So I think that we're seeing that. Ren gave a full short signal here 2 days ago that is currently playing out. Ren looks weak here. I think that it continues to break down. It got its full swing a lot quicker than most of the market, and I think that's what we're seeing now is a lot of them get their exit pump swing into a swing failure. I really do believe that that's what the most likely scenario will happen across the market, rather than we just go straight to 120K and everyone's happy and rich. That just doesn't seem like the scenario, but I think Ren looks weaker than most.
All right, big shout outs to Mr. Ether. There is your look at Ren. Bitcoin creeping back up above 57 again. And let's go ahead and get into the next request. I'm going to go stock that DLive chest. We're kind of running ahead of time, so let's say I'm going to open the DLive chest in 5 minutes. Get your 11s in now. We got 5 minutes to go for that one. Let's go into this next request. Any word on DLive writes, I bought some Pirate Chain and library credits yesterday. All right, well, we can certainly check on those two charts. Well, Pirate Chain, is Pirate Chain on TradingView now? It is now, yeah.
On KuCoin. I mean, I don't necessarily hate this level and the amount of times that we've tapped it. You did get a full signal, short signal, with everything that you'd look for in a short signal with rising momentum. Wada's completely there, full on both oscillators. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea if you were trying to take a stab, because it's a relatively easy risk to reward here on just put your stop below this local low, and then if you're wrong, you're wrong. But it's definitely interesting here. If anything, you have a full short signal, but I could understand why people would start to take a position here. I wish I had a little bit more data on it, but I could totally see this coming up and kind of double topping, or maybe even getting some kind of swing up here. But then again, with what I think could happen, this could likely break down more, because how often do you get shaven wicks on the weekly like this? Not too often. So this likely could get sold into this week. I would watch it this week. Nothing to do with it. I wouldn't be grabbing it here. If anything, you're in a short position, and right now you could be using this as a moment to get a better short position on it with a baseline bounce. Can't advise getting into this. I think that the pattern is interesting, and the historical support is interesting, but I can't advise taking a position here with the way that the rest of the market is.
All right. Well,
until you get that solid long signal above the 13 EMA.
Indeed. This newly listed on KuCoin, so at least we can easily pull up the chart. Doesn't include all the historical data on Pirate Chain, but hey, we got something to work with now. So shout outs to Anywhere. Thank you for the Pirate Chain request. LBC is next. Library credits. Let's get into it.
Kind of a goofy looking chart, isn't it? I really don't like that this level hasn't been tested at all. I think that's weird for this chart pattern. Boom, breakdown. Could be a little bit of a spring activity here. Just nothing to do. If anything, it's been signaling short for quite a while, giving you a continuation short on the daily today. Appears that time transformation's wanting to cross over, but just can't quite get there yet. But yeah, I just don't like this pattern very much. I guess it's kind of ascending triangle-y if it's really tight, but I don't necessarily like that so much. But I think there's much stronger stuff out there right now. Nothing to do with this, especially with my system right now. If anything, it'd have you in a short, and then maybe over the next few days you get an exit signal, and then possibly you break back up and then get a long signal. Not sure here, but nothing to do. Way better things out there in the market right now than this.
All right, there's your look at Pirate Chain and library credits. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. About 4 minutes to go for the DLive chest opening. CryptoCats on DLive. Can we look at Leash and Bone? All right, these are the two SHIB related coins.
Is it just SHIB?
Let's see here. Doge Kill, not, oh yes, Doge Killer price. Yes, that's probably it then.
Doge Killer, yep.
Yep, Leash.
Well, daily, let's go down to daily here. It's not a terrible spot in the sense that you do appear to have bottomed out on some old support. You have broken the downtrend here. Like that. And you are getting, oddly enough, a long signal here, which is kind of shocking. That's just because prices sat there. I don't think you'll end up getting this signal today, to be honest with you. You'll likely get a dip down here before, but it does appear to us it's beginning to curl around, breaking some historical downtrends and getting back above its baseline and establishing old support. So very likely could give you a long signal within the coming week here, but nothing I can do with it today. It is beginning to look strong though. Likely to do with the activity that SHIB's been generating. And then, I mean, if that does break, then I think it's easy to bring it up to whatever this price level is. That's way too many numbers. The median of the range here, I think that's pretty much a gimme once you get that break to the upside and establish it.
All right, well, big shout outs to CryptoCats. That's a look at Leash. We're going to get into Bone next. I guess we got 2 minutes, a little less than 2 minutes to go for the chest opening. We'll look at Bone and then I'll open the chest. Bone it is. Let me see if I can figure out what Bone coin.
Is it just Bone wrapped ETH?
It's a Bone Shiba swap. Bone Shiba swap is what it seems to be referred to as. Ticker symbol Bone, Ethereum. Let me see here. Bone wrapped teeth. Yeah, it's probably that one there. 6.
Yeah, it's basically the same chart. Well, pretty close, but this one's actually already giving you those signals. Does appear that this is pretty similar to the same chart. So you didn't come down nearly as far here, but I don't even know whether this is actually good data or not. But you're definitely appearing to break up to the upside here. Does appear that this was some kind of resistance at some point, but it does look strong for continuation here. You're getting a well, actually, weirdly enough, you're getting a take profit long signal on this. I don't know if that's right. Maybe this data is just a little skewed, because I don't understand with this price action why you'd be getting that take profit long signal. But this continuation does look good. Likely both of these look like they could be moving up here in the near future. I'll have to learn a little bit more about what they do.
All right. Well, indeed. Yes.
Those are like the custody coins for SHIB, right?
Yes, governance. I think
Governance.
one of them is governance. The other, I'm not super familiar with the SHIB token exactly how but they both serve supplement some kind of DeFi functionality, I think, on the coming SHIB platform. Let's see here. CryptoCats, Leash and Bone is out of the way, and I gotta go open the DLive chest. So Jason, hang tight. Everybody else, are you ready? I'm going to introduce the next request, and then I'm going to click distribute. All right, so probably by the time you hear this message, the prompt should be on your screen. All right, guys, next request, and then I click open on the chest, is the following. It is, what is this? Request WISE. WISE, yes, WISE for Philly Carr of the YouTube chat. Yes, I remember WISE. See, and I'm gonna click open now, guys. Get ready.
I never get the prompt anymore.
Should be appearing right now.
Right now.
Go get it. Money is on the table, guys. Better grab it while you can. All right, I'm collecting my rewards myself. This is done. All right, so the next request, of course, is WISE, as I have already mentioned. This is the WISE token. Top trade.
WISE or, oh, WISE. I thought it said WISE there. I was like,
WISE,
what am I?
yeah. W-I-Z-E. Yeah, I might have misspelled it earlier. It's W-I-S-E. Top trading pair is on Uniswap. You may want to pick that wrapped ETH calculated by.
Yeah.
That's the one. Wow.
Oh. What am I? Is this right? Well, I mean, if you ever wanted to be a buyer, I guess, like, I just, wow. I mean, what is this? I mean, I love that it's giving you a continuation short right now. I mean,
is that really WISE? Are we looking at the right one? Do let us know in the live chat.
WISE token wrapped ETH, I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. Well, I don't know much more we can comment on WISE.
Well, I mean, it's retraced how much? From about 80% from the top, which is funny. Let's see here. From the top of the wick. Let's go from the top of the wick. Get out of here. Come on. Okay. Yeah, about 80% on the dot. So if you were an 80% correction type guy, go ahead and get in some WISE token. But I don't know what's going on with this or why this is just bleeding out forever. Or what would cause it to start going back up again. But I mean, you're under everything. So, I mean, if you want to take a shot, maybe you'll be waiting forever or just lose all your money because things can go to zero. So there's nothing to go buy a lottery ticket. I don't really know what to do with that.
Indeed. All right. Well, that was a look at WISE. Platinum. Did we look at Platinum during your main analysis? I think we touched on it very briefly. All right. Well, let me shout out the winners of today's DLive giveaway. ETH, or any word takes the first spot. ETH1, Franklin MC, Crypto Cats, and Crypto Bull take the other top spots. Thank you guys for playing today. But let's continue with the analysis. Alex or Jason, Platinum. What do you think?
Well, looking at it on the weekly, it does appear that we've broken out of the downtrend. It appears that we're getting some sell-off here currently, wicking off our 100 EMA and turning what looks like old resistance into support currently. I think the weekly is starting to look pretty strong here. You could likely get a long signal by the end of the week. Looking at the daily, my system just wouldn't have caught this that well. But I do think that this is building quite strong. I think that you could see a platinum return up to at least like this 1116 range here if it maintains this uptrend that it's gotten here. But I think for all intents and purposes, it looks strong. The only thing that you'd have to worry about a little bit here is it's coming up on some historical resistance, and you're right in that box. But for now, things still look strong. I think you could see some upside on platinum for sure. I mean, the way that it's looking like, seems like all the metals are gonna have a little day.
Cavano Trades. What the hell is Leash and Bone? Well, they're the tokens. One's a governance. I think one is like liquidity mining token. of the SHIB ecosystem. Sounds super scammy. You might be onto something, but I guess the jury's still out on this one. DYOR, the white paper's out there. It looks like a rug pull. I don't know, man. SHIB is it too big to fail at this point? Request.
It's like Elon. We talk about it every goddamn day.
Any chance we could look at Hex? Asks Bob and he. Okay, well, hang tight because I still got a few requests to knock out. If we have time, we will get to Hex and a few others getting requested. But shout outs to Philly Car. Your request is done. Let's get into one of the last of the day. Xavier, can we look at AVAX and/or Omizago? All right, AVAX first.
Looking at AVAX, it's interesting that we are running out of selling pressure coming up onto this old resistance turn support here. Looking pretty weak as of now. Nothing you can really do with it. You have continuation shorts all over the place. Beginning to get some take profit short signals here, which doesn't mean to go long. It just means that if you're in shorts, maybe think about taking some profit. But you're getting some green continuation candles on time transformation. I think this looks very weak. And until you can break the downtrend of this daily, I think that you should remain bearish on AVAX. The same way that I'm bearish on, what was the one we were looking at earlier? I believe it was Ren. Yeah, the same way that Ren already came up and completed. This already had a great run, so it wouldn't surprise me if we sold off even more from here on AVAX. Just wait to see if you get support here and break that uptrend, and then you can take it long if you want. But as for now, nothing to do with it. If anything, you should be getting out of shorts or remaining in it if you don't mind taking the oscillator crossover. So nothing to do with AVAX. OMG. We looked at OMG yesterday. I did say I did like the trend break on the daily, but I did not like how there was just nothing there for WADA, just no momentum at all. And with a price movement that big to break a trend, that seems very odd to me. And I think that you're seeing the evidence of that go here. It's possible that you could have hit a TP here. No, you wouldn't have got close. But it does appear at this moment to be getting faded, but you'll just have to wait till the end of the day. I think that this likely comes back down, at least tests the baseline. But if not, you could get more selling pressure to the downside. I just don't like how there was no momentum for this at all, which leads me to believe that this is going to end up being a swing failure. So, and OMG is another one that had a great run there with very little retracement. So it wouldn't shock me if we started to get some pullbacks on OMG, at least down to that $10 range. So the next one will be, let's take a
All
look
right,
at...
that's Omizago in the bag. Indeed. Next one up is Litecoin and AAVE. Litecoin USD for Wayne A in the YouTube chat.
Just nothing quite you can do with this chart. I do think that this is going to end up breaking to the upside. I think that this is going to look a lot like the Dragon Perp chart that we looked at earlier. Look at that real quick. There you go. There's that pattern. Then let's go back to LTC USDT. I think that it's likely that it gets that price action to the upside like that. I think that this is shaping up well. Nothing you can quite do here, but I would wait for that unless it happens real fast like it's happening in the others. You'll likely have time to get into a continuation signal on this and then ride it back up. But for now, just trusting in that pattern breaking up isn't enough for you to be able to take a signal like this with your oscillators pointing down. But in my head, I do believe that you'll get price action to the upside here.
All right. Well, let's get into the next request. What do we have remaining on the board? Bear with me just a moment because somebody was asking me to take another look at the WISETOKEN. We might just round back out. Okay, so we have Litecoin looked at. AAVE. AAVE is next.
AAVE looking pretty weak here, to be honest with you. Gave a short signal, but WADA wasn't there. It is making higher lows, so it could end up breaking up. But this just is under every single one of its moving averages. and giving you short signals with not really much momentum to the upside. Buyers aren't really stepping in, but at this point, neither are sellers. So you're just going to have to wait till you get some kind of confirmation. But this looks weak. I think there's a lot stronger things out there right now.
All right, brilliant. AVAX in the bag. Big shouts to Wayne for that 2-packer requests. We have one more left on the board for today. Let's see if we can knock out this one. It's for Boris at Bitcoin, and he writes, "Happy Wednesday, all. Thoughts on Stellar here? Might be a decent continuation long setup if it closes above the 357. All right, what do you think about longing
I do like this for a
Stellar?
continuation long in the sense that if you close above this old resistance here, I think that you're likely to get enough momentum out of that to get you at least up to your first take profit, which would be sitting at around that 38 cents range, which would be the top of this shoulder over here. So I like that a lot for a continuation signal to the upside. I think this is one of those ones where I was like, when we were just looking at LTC, you'll likely get that continuation signal. This is one of those scenarios where if that closes above, gives you that, there's going to be enough juice in that tank, I believe, to get you up to your first take profit at least. And then whether it reverses or not doesn't really matter. I like this for a signal. I'm definitely putting this on my list for to look at tonight. I like it.
All right, well, Boris Bitcoin, thank you for that possible continuation long on Stellar. Jason seems to like it. Somebody in the live chat says, Wise is a hex clone with some changes, says Robert Warner. Indeed. Jason, do you want to open up your ChartX real quick? I want to see if I can...
Is it like an inverse of hex? Because it would make sense that it only goes down.
I think we were looking at the wrong Wise. That's why I'm going to need you to bring up your ChartX. Hop into the ChartX, and you're still in TradingView. Yes, and now go over there and type in Wise and click that first one that comes up. This is the USD calculated. Yeah, that one. Is this the right one, guys? Let me know. This is the first one. If not, I'm gonna try finding it myself.
That's a much different chart.
Yep. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna see if I can't find the correct Wise token. Although, Jason, I think you can chart this one you're looking at, because I think this is it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. I hate that I can't. I guess I could put like.
Yeah, you can't use your regular indicators for sure, but you know, give it your best eyeball.
I'm looking at this. I think you're coming up on resistance here. Watch the down. Watch this downtrend, because you could get a break above, but right now everything looks pretty weak. Let's go to lower time frames. Yeah, this downtrend here, I would watch this 4-hour downtrend. I think that you're likely to at least come down here and test this level first, but maybe getting some bottoming behavior on Fisher here, possibly a little inverse head and shoulders, but just weirdly, because there's not enough liquidity, I don't think. But for now, there's nothing to do. Wait till you break this downtrend to the upside. And then if you do break above this 54-cent range, then I think you're likely to at least test the new high of that 61. But until then, this could just continue to slowly break to the downside.
All right. Well, sounds like we've taken a look at Wise. Let's look at Hex. Since you're already on ChartX, Hex, it would be a good opportunity to look up, because we have Bob Mel in the chat wants to look at Hex. So let's do that before we widen the showdown.
Take a look at it. I can just do that on regular, right?
Could, yeah. I think it's on there now. Click the crypto filter. Well, found it. Never mind.
Hex looks like it's finally going to break down to me. This level right here that you wick down to and test, I think that that's an interesting level that to look for. Yesterday was a full short signal on Hex, which beginning to play out as of now, which would have you targeting. Let's see here, data window. Have you targeting 32 cents, 32.5 first, 26.6, and then 20 respectively, which gives a nice little confluence with where your 200 EMA is. I wouldn't be shocked if Hex bleeds out a lot, to be honest with you. With the run that it's had, there's just been no downside. So charts don't just go up normally. But yeah, an 80% correction from the highs would take you down to this resistance level at about 10 cents. I think Hex looks very weak here for the first time in quite a while. I think it's going to bleed out, likely.
There you have it. Might finally be right, at least once on the show, about Hex this time. That would be a look at the Hex token in the bag. Let's go. That was a Hex token for Bob Mel of the YouTube chat. Thanks again, guys. I think that's it. Mr. Ether kicking it with us on YouTube as well. Thank you. We looked at SHIB, Bass GT Mark IV. Yeah, I think we gave SHIB a pretty good look earlier, did we not, Jason? We looked at SHIB, right? Tell me we looked at SHIB.
Well, not today. I don't think we did.
Oh, maybe we didn't. In that case, why did I think we looked at SHIB? It's because we looked at Dog and Leash. That's why, or whatever it's called.
Basically just going sideways. You're getting a bunch of exit signals on your time transformation here, which I would probably be heeding at this point. But getting a little it's not necessarily a bearish pattern. Lower time frame. I bet the 12-hour give you a little bit better. Likely getting a little bull pennant here. Right here. I would wait to see if you break back above this, possibly it could continue, but looking at where it just swung up and hasn't retraced at all without testing this lower low, I would be hesitant to take any kind of position on SHIB right here. I would heed the warning of time transformation here and be looking to get out. Look at the momentum, it's just gone. And if price can't go up, it'll probably go down.
There you go. Alright, I presume that mostly wraps your thoughts on SHIB, because we got one last request to get to, and then we're going to get out of here, guys. We went the full 90 minutes today. Last request of the day is DEXE. D-E-X-E. What are your thoughts coming from GT?
I think this is shaping up, man. I think that this is shaping up pretty well. Nice long basing period for a couple months. Just cannot get below this level. Some nice bullish divergence on the daily coming in here. Just about to crack over that 13 EMA. A nice solid 3-step, pause 3-step, and then reversal. I like to see this. I think that this is likely going to be a good play here in the relatively near future. So I wouldn't have a problem being in here and having a stop loss below lows. This could be very volatile to the upside quickly. And if it does, I think that it'll likely get up to at least that $15 range. I think that this is a nice setup for what it is.
Brilliant. Yeah, it does look good. Shout outs to, of course, is Isaiah? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Izalaika. Big shout outs to you on DLive. Thank you so much for that request. We absolutely killed it today. We have so many solid requests under our belt. Another amazing installment in the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Holy crap, it's Wednesday and I just got the notification. The clock strikes 2:30. We have a mentorship session. That's right.
I don't think I'll be able to do it.
Oh, I see. That's right, because your connection kind of sucks. Well, you know what? Your audio comes in okay. You might be able to audio only as long as you're not screen sharing. You might be able to hold it down. Alex, I leave this to you. This is to your discretion.
Yeah, I mean, at least just let the people know if you can't get an internet connection, right? I'm sure that we'll have this figured out in the relatively near future.
Yep. But your connection's okay, Alex, as long as you're not like overburdening it with video sharing. So audio only, you might cut it. But for that, guys, it sounds like today's mentorship session is tentatively canceled. Watch the announcements. I'm sure one will go out, confirming or otherwise. But that's it for today's show, guys. Thank you, everybody kicked it with us this Wednesday afternoon. We got to get out of here. It's time to beat it. Thank you so much to everybody kicked it with us. Premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com, of course, is where you check out all our premium offerings, as well as Discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com for the Discord link to our server. Hey, I'm proud to finally start bringing back the results.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Our results are finally caught up on. I'm very, very pleased to tell you guys that yes, you can check out results.cryptocurrency.com to see how our traders perform. We're very diligent in record keeping. I assure you, our traders are on the ball. They do great work. You see for yourself. Results.cryptocurrency.com. All right, I really got to get out of here. Thank you guys once again. See you tomorrow for Thursday update. Much love to you all. Jason, final words?
Yep. Just trade safely, guys. Lower time frames are starting to look pretty interesting to me. This 4-hour signal is one that I don't get too often. That's just like everything's there perfectly with a nice 3 white soldiers pattern. So we'll look at to see how this closes. But I do think that there's a chance that we could get some more upwards pressure here to at least that 60K range on Bitcoin. But take that with a grain of salt. That doesn't mean it's going to happen at all. But things are starting to look rather strong on lower time frames to suggest that kind of price movement. So if it does happen, don't assume that you have to just jump in and go all balls to the wall going long on Bitcoin. There'll likely be some retracements. If it's going to break for real, it'll break up. It'll give us some retracements to get in. There's always time. There's always more time.
Right on. Guys, you've heard it here. Catch us tomorrow for more exciting updates in the market. Bitcoin still, just hanging on to 57K, but barely. We will be back tomorrow. Peace out, guys.
Goodbye. you